We built artificial intelligence. Yet somehow, we never learned how to stop fighting each other. Why? Why do humans keep repeating the same mistake over and over again? The answer has almost nothing to do with weapons, and everything to do with human nature. Imagine two complete strangers. Neither wants violence, neither wants to kill, neither wants war. Then why has every generation in history found itself fighting one? Because wars don't begin on battlefields. They begin much earlier, inside our minds. Thousands of years ago, surviving was simple. You protected your family, your tribe, your land. Anyone outside your group wasn't just different. They were a possible threat. Our ancestors who reacted quickly to danger survived. Those who trusted every stranger often didn't. That instinct kept humanity alive. But thousands of years later, our brains are still running the same ancient software. Today, the tribe looks different. It might be a country, a religion, a political movement, or even a sports team. The names have changed. The instinct hasn't. People naturally separate the world into two groups, us and them. The moment someone becomes them, conflict becomes much easier. Psychologists call this social identity. The stronger we identify with our own group, the easier it becomes to distrust another one. This happens everywhere. Schools, cities, companies, politics, and between nations. Most people don't wake up wanting war. They simply become convinced that their own side is right. History is filled with examples. Before almost every major war, both sides believed they were defending themselves. Both sides believed they were acting for peace. Both believed they were the good guys. Very few leaders ever announced, "We are invading because we are evil." Instead, they said, "We have no choice. We must protect our people." They forced us to act. The words change. The story rarely does. Fear is one of the strongest forces in human psychology, and fear spreads faster than facts. If enough people believe another nation is dangerous, they begin supporting actions they would never normally accept. Military spending, sanctions, mobilization, eventually, war itself. History shows that fear doesn't always create conflict, but it almost always prepares the ground for it. Then comes something even more powerful: pride. Humans don't just fight to survive. We fight to protect identity, honor, status, reputation. Sometimes nations continue losing wars, simply because admitting defeat feels more painful than continuing to fight. Logic says, stop. Pride says, not yet. History has listened to pride far more often. But if ordinary people don't actually want war, who starts them? That's where the story becomes much darker. Because throughout history, the people making the decision were almost never the ones standing on the battlefield. And once power, ambition, and human psychology come together, the entire world can change overnight. The uncomfortable truth is this: wars don't happen because humans enjoy violence. They happen because war solves problems. Not for everyone, but for someone. Throughout history, almost every major war was driven by a combination of fear, power, money, and resources. Rarely by pure hatred alone. Think about it. Why have so many wars been fought over the same places? Because some land is more valuable than others. Oil, fresh water, trade routes, natural resources, strategic locations. These things can decide whether a nation grows stronger or slowly disappears. History has shown that countries rarely fight over empty deserts. They fight over what keeps civilizations alive. But resources alone don't start wars. People do, and people need a reason to fight. This is where propaganda enters the story. Propaganda isn't always a lie. Sometimes it's simply a carefully selected version of the truth. Every nation tells stories about itself. Stories about heroes, about enemies, about justice, about survival. Because once people believe their future depends on winning, they become willing to sacrifice almost anything. Now imagine you're a leader. Your economy is collapsing. People are angry. Your popularity is falling. History shows that some leaders have discovered something dangerous. Nothing unites a divided population faster than a common enemy. When people stop arguing with each other, they begin focusing on someone outside their borders. Suddenly, the nation feels united again. The problems haven't disappeared. They've simply found a new target. This isn't ancient history. It has happened across different centuries, under different governments, on different continents. Human psychology hasn't changed nearly as much as technology has. Our weapons became smarter. Our brains didn't. Today, wars look different. Some are fought with tanks, others with drones, others with computer code. A single cyber attack can shut down power grids. A misinformation campaign can influence millions of people. Economic sanctions can weaken entire nations without firing a single shot. The battlefield has expanded. But the reason behind conflict remains surprisingly familiar. Fear, competition, identity, power. And here's the biggest irony. The more connected humanity becomes, the easier conflict can spread. A single video reaches millions in minutes. One false story can cross the world before the truth has a chance to respond. Technology has made communication almost instant. It has also made fear travel faster than ever before. Does that mean humanity is doomed to fight forever? Not necessarily. History also tells another story. Former enemies become allies. Old rivals become trading partners. Nations that fought devastating wars now cooperate every day. Peace is possible, but it requires something far more difficult than building stronger armies. It requires building trust. And trust takes years to create, while fear can destroy it overnight. Perhaps that is humanity's greatest challenge. Not creating more powerful weapons, but learning how to control the instincts that once kept us alive and now threaten our future. Because every generation believes it has become more civilized than the last. Yet every generation eventually faces the same choice: fear or understanding, hatred or cooperation, war or peace. The next war won't begin when the first shot is fired. It will begin much earlier, with a decision, a speech, a lie, a moment of fear, or perhaps with millions of ordinary people deciding whether to see strangers as enemies or simply as other human beings. Because in the end, the greatest battlefield has never been a country. It has always been the human mind. If history teaches us anything, it's this: the weapons will change. The uniforms will change. The borders will change. But unless human nature changes, the question will never be whether another war is coming, only when.